Okay, let's turn to the other focus tonight. Another incident which has shown how insensitive, how ruthless, how brutal life in our metros is, particularly in the national capital. A man hit by an auto rickshaw lay on a Delhi road for more than an hour bleeding. No one stopped to help. Pedestrians passed by, cars drove by, and the man lay dying on the road. Someone did finally stop, but only to steal his phone. The latest update is the rickshaw driver who mowed down the victim has been arrested. But let's just watch how heartless Delhi has become.
5:30 a.m. A near empty Delhi street. A man walking down the road. Suddenly, a speeding three-wheeler hits him, throwing him into the air and on the pavement. The auto immediately stops. A man gets down. There's hope that the accident victim will be taken to hospital. But no, the driver looks around to see if anyone's noticed him. Assured he's in the clear, he drives off, leaving the victim to die. For nearly an hour, the victim, finally identified as Matibul from Bengal, lay dying on the pavement. Pedestrians passed by, barely giving him a look. Cars and buses zipped by. Not one stopped to help him. Finally, someone did take notice. A cycle rickshaw stopped. A man got off. But he walked right past the victim, stooping to a whole new level, instead to pick up the dead man's mobile phone. The man made no effort to help and walked right back to the rickshaw, stealing the mobile handset.
This is not some isolated corner of Delhi. This is one of the busiest residential and commercial area. People go for morning walks, go to shops and offices. So it's not as if there was no one to help. But the brutal fact is no one chose to help. While some cite convenient excuse that they are avoiding police case, but what needed was a little bit of humanity.
बिक्रमवाला उतर के देखा मगर ये तरफ रहा मगर इसने उठा के उसको हेल्प नहीं किया तो 2 मिनट का या 5 मिनट का रास्ता है तो उसको हॉस्पिटल पहुंचा इसको.
अगर किसी ने हेल्प आज करने का मन में ही नहीं सोचा तो वो उसको लगेगा कि मैं आई एम इन ट्रबल, मैं आई विल बी इन ट्रबल. मगर आपने कभी किसी ने एक बार अगर एफर्ट किया होगा तो ही कैनॉट से दैट.
What's worse, witnesses say even cops argued as Matibul battled to survive, haggling over jurisdiction.
This is completely wrong and action has to be taken against both the police station. One, predominantly because the Honorable Supreme Court has stated that no police station or a police officer can refuse registration of an FIR. They are duty bound to register the FIR.
2 घंटे तक यहाँ पर कोई पुलिस वाला मौके पे मौजूद नहीं था. 1.5 घंटा उनको और 1.5 घंटा तकरीबन यहाँ पर उसके बाद बॉडी रखी रही है 1.5-2 घंटा. पहले दोनों थाने ये परेशान थे कि केस कौन से थाने का.
Matibul ironically also worked as an auto rickshaw driver. The chilling video has again put the spotlight on road safety in the capital and also on the need to have a good Samaritan law in place. Maybe Matibul's life could have been saved. With Parbina, Bureau Report, India Today.
What does this mean for those who want a good Samaritan law, a law which is already in place? The question is, why did nobody try and help a man who was bleeding on the road? Saji Cherian, head of operations at Safe Life Foundation, Kapil Sankhya, lawyer at the Supreme Court, are joining me. First to you, Saji, I want to understand from you, the Good Samaritan law approved on 30th March 2016 in terms of the guideline. Does that mean that if anyone there had tried to rescue this man while he was bleeding, he would have been completely protected by the law? Because otherwise, there is a fear that I will get into a police case. What does the Good Samaritan law do for anyone who tries to rescue someone who's bleeding on the road in a hit and run case?
So the Good Samaritan law, as per the judgment of the Supreme Court, completely protects the anonymity of a Good Samaritan. So as of now, if anybody calls an emergency number, whether it's the police number or the emergency helpline number, his address, his name, he need not reveal. He can remain anonymous. At the hospital, he can leave a victim and leave the hospital. He should not be harassed by the police as per the judgment.
So he has full protection.
He has full protection.
So nobody there can claim that they were worried कि police case हो जाएगा, that argument no longer works.
The challenge is, and the Supreme Court has kept that in when they made the judgment in the end, is that they directed the government to make sure that every person in India knows about this law.
So there is a lack of knowledge of it.
Exactly. There is no sustained campaign by the government to make sure that every person in the country knows about the new right.
The other question is the FIR. Should an FIR have been filed right away?
The FIR should have been filed right away without the police fighting on the territorial jurisdiction. Way back in 1999, the Supreme Court stated that the police is bound to register FIR. Having failed to do so, this is contempt of the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court. Thereafter, number of judgments have been passed, latest being Sonu's judgment of Delhi High Court, where again an order was made that the police cannot refuse registration of FIR merely because it does not have territorial jurisdiction. So there has been gross laxity on the part of the police in registering the FIR, one, and secondly, advertising about this judgment, the Good Samaritan Law, to the general public.
The people who are watching are obviously people who perhaps don't even know of the law.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one thing which is the law, the other is humanity.
Correct.
I mean, in all your attempts as the Save Life Foundation, you focused on legal remedies. What about basic humanity? What about public awareness? Forget the laws. Look at it. Nobody was really venturing to help that individual.
Correct. And one way of, and this is what we have found, Rasdeep, in every interview and survey that we have done, is that people in India are not apathetic. So
They're not apathetic.
They are not. See, even if you take an incident which happened a few days back in Rajasthan, where a school bus went into a river and people jumped in and rescued the people without even fearing for their own lives. In India, people are not apathetic. They do help their neighbors. They do help people in distress. The fact that the fear of police harassment always is there when it comes to accident cases, as well as in cases of violence, where you saw even in the Nirbhaya case where people were hesitant to help because they always get questioned by police, they get detained at the hospital, and they get sucked into a long judicial process. Now the Good Samaritan Law protects them from all this, but the issue is that people do not know that I am protected. Not just people, even the police does not know that they are not supposed to force people to reveal their names, and that is the biggest challenge right now.
From the police perspective, you said the police has failed. What
Right.
can be now done in this case? The man has been arrested. The rickshaw driver has been arrested.
Well, that's only one part of it, but what about the police that did not do the duty for which they were sitting there? They were duty bound to protect, register FIR, take action, probably send a PCR and take him to the hospital. Now, having failed to do that, you cannot escape your liability by merely saying that department inquiry will follow. You have to be punished. The courts can hold them up under contempt of court, and they can be punished under different provisions of law. And that should be done because an example has to be made now.
Clearly, what it really also, of course, shows is the heartlessness of a city. At least you say Indians are not apathetic. In this instance, clearly someone should have shown greater humanity.
True.
That was clearly missing in
True.
this instance.
Yes.
And maybe laws are not enough. At the end of the day, you need a conscience. Shahji, Kapil Sankhya, I appreciate your joining us on that story. Let me turn though to a story that might give us some hope. Through this bulletin, we've seen a lot of negative stories, particularly that story in the national capital where onlookers allowed a man to die on the roads. But the city of Mumbai has risen to the occasion, where alert locals saved the life of a woman. The woman was seen walking on tracks at Vikhroli station. As she continued to walk on the tracks, even as the train was approaching, people standing on the platform jumped in to save her. The motorman of the train too was quick enough to apply the emergency brakes, thereby saving the woman's life just in time. Take a look at those pictures that you're seeing on the screen, because the woman is reportedly to be mentally disturbed, but the very fact that people actually tried there and, unlike in Delhi, went ahead and rescued her, show two contrasting images. Let me play in a way those two contrasting images for you. Take a look at what was happening in Delhi, which we showed you a little earlier on the program, and contrast that with Mumbai. In Mumbai, there are people rescuing the woman, pushing her out from the railway track to ensure that she was not allowed to commit suicide under any circumstances. That's what happened in Mumbai, and remember what happened in Delhi. And then you ask yourself, as you see these two contrasting images playing, there are two Indias. There is one India that is willing to reach out to people and willing to help people. There is another India where people simply appear heartless and unwilling to help their very fellow Indians. Two images of a country that we know as Bharat. Okay, let's turn to an image of the day, and then I'm also going to tell you about a programming note. My image of the day is the 70th Independence Day, which will come up in a few days' time. The Narendra Modi government has come up with a new Tiranga anthem. The anthem is an ode to freedom fighters and the brave hearts who relentlessly defend our freedom. Here's an exclusive look at that anthem. Take a look.
स्वदेशी है निशान तिरंगा वीर खड़ा जवान है तूफान लहराता तिरंगा जात पात कुछ ना जाने भारत मेरा महान तिरंगा जान है तिरंगा जान है.
No problems with the anthem. It's great to have that patriotic fervor. My only question, did Mr. Narendra Modi need to be part of that Tiranga Yatra promo? Should the focus this time have been exclusively on our soldiers? Do politicians need to be everywhere? That's a question I want to leave you with, a thought I want to leave you with. And I want to leave you with a programming note that from tomorrow evening we start our own special Independence Day celebrations here, and we have a special program for you. It's called Heroes. It will focus on real heroes of this country, not the celebrities, not those who are film stars, but those who are proving that there are many Indians who offer hope, who offer stories of courage, who will inspire us and inspire the young generation. I hope you watch that program. It's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. here on India Today TV. Jai Hind, good night, goodbye.